Let's go! I realise this is the first time you're seeing my face, most likely on this vlog, and I'm already in Gold Coast. So I'm going to show you the room, and then I'm going to explain exactly what I'm doing here, and hopefully you don't get bored. So I've just checked in, and I've actually eaten as well because I'm really, really hungry. So yeah, just nice. And then you probably can't see the view, but you can see the water, which is nice. And then they've obviously got the pool there. So a pretty sweet deal, to be honest. I'm here for 2 nights and I'll explain why. Alrighty, so I started this journey in Sydney and I was up at 4:30. I ended up going ahead and getting my flight from Sydney to Brisbane. Actually, I just put it down here. So yeah, Sydney to Brisbane, and then straight from the airport, I went to the SwiftX office, which is in Brisbane, and I had to shoot a podcast. So I'm going to insert a clip now of what their office looks like. It's really cool. And I don't think I've got any behind the scenes, maybe a photo or two from the actual podcast, but check that out. All right, here we are in the SwiftX place. I'm a little jealous. It looks really nice. Got water views, they chill out here. And then we did the podcast in here, which you'll see little snippets or behind the scenes, I suppose. But that looks really cool. So I shot that there. Mad. And then just come around here. Kitchen area, it's really cool. So yeah, straight after shooting the podcast, I went from Brisbane and I actually booked myself an Uber and went straight from there to the Gold Coast. And I got here probably about an hour or so ago, checked in, thankfully the room was available, and then I just went downstairs, ate some food because I had only had avo and toast at the business lounge in Sydney, and that was at 6 a.m. And so I was really hungry. And so yeah, just smashed down some food. And the plan is, now that it's 1:42, idea is that I want to catch up on some work. So the next couple of hours, I'm just going to smash out work. But the idea for this trip was that I was coming out to do a podcast with SwiftX, and there's another podcast that probably is out by now. Now, if both podcasts are out, I'm going to actually link them in the description box below. But the other one is with a couple of guys. They run a company called Unemployable Media, and I just like what they do. So I've been listening for a while. I thought I'd reach out, and they're based in Gold Coast. And then I'm also going to meet up with Jason Pizzino, who also creates some crypto content, but we've been mates for a couple of years now. So he actually attended my wedding as well earlier this year. So the last time I saw him was in Thailand in Feb, and I'll get to catch up with him for lunch, which is cool. And so, yeah, a couple of days, pretty much try and, fit in the podcasts and then also continue doing work. I realized that I really don't like traveling, and it's so weird to say that, and I probably won't be relatable to many people, but I don't know. I think there's 2 things to it. Is one, traveling by myself, yes, has its perks sometimes, but I'm really not in the season to want to be going traveling. And then 2, obviously I like spending a lot of time with Sandro, my partner, my wife. So yeah, it feels weird. Even though I'm gone for 2 days, it feels like a long time. But yeah, we just make the most of it. And I realized that these opportunities do come up, and I'm super grateful for them. But it's more so in and out rather than, I want to go and check out Movie World or something like that, because that's not fun by yourself. So you would see a clip as well. So I'm staying at the Star in Gold Coast, and I've never stayed here before. But I'll insert a clip here. It really literally feels like Vegas all over again. I'll leave a link up here for my video when I was in Vegas. And again, that was for a podcast that I was shooting there as part of my trip to LA with Spotify. I ended up going to Vegas because I wanted to shoot a podcast with Ryan Pineda. And yeah, I thought, okay, I've got 24 hours. Let me make the most of it. And yeah, did the Vegas Strip, and then I did the Sphere as well. So it's cool for me to now document these things as well. And I wasn't going to bring the vlogging camera. I wasn't going to vlog at all. And then Sanjo was like, you're going to thank yourself. You always do. You'll look back at it and go, oh, do you remember the time, I went to Brisbane and this happened? And yeah, I actually had an Uber drive here, which was an hour from Brisbane. And I was thinking, I'm going to have all these podcasts to listen to, blah, 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 blah. And it turns out that the Uber driver was just he was so nice, and he was telling me stories about his life. And he was from Sydney, moved up to Brisbane, and he did that largely because the real estate prices were crazy. So I guess, connected on that front. And then he was telling me something that he's told his kids, and his kids are now, there's 4 of them, and it's 29, 27, 23, and 18 maybe, or 17, and how they wanted to, save money and get started. And he said one thing, and he goes, look, Ravi, if you need to use this for your YouTube channel, use it. So I'm hoping you're watching, mate. He basically said, think of your life as you... I like the analogy you made around the boat as well as the plane, but let's go with the plane because it's probably more relatable. And he goes, with a plane, you have so much energy and so much acceleration go into the liftoff, and you have a lot more in that short period because you got to get the flight up, right? So there's so much used in terms of momentum up. And then once it's up there, it's autopilot, sort of glides, and you don't have to put as much, acceleration behind it, and then you obviously land. And he goes, that's how I've told my kids to sort of approach life. So when it comes to finance and you're actually going out there building out, financial freedom for yourself, it's in the first phase where you need to push as hard as possible. And so that's what I did in my 20s, and I urge everyone that watches my main channel exactly that, which is go hard in the beginning. Yes, you can, say, oh, I want to travel when I'm young and this and that. I think you can do both. I traveled a lot in my 20s and I still invested. So I think there's a world where you can do both. A lot of people just waste money on dumb shit. It's if you value food, if you value travel, go and do that, but go all out. And what I mean by that is go all out on that front, but also continue investing, because if you get your finances right, you're good. And so basically what he said was, if you push in that initial phase, and when you're gliding up here, you're going to be happy, but push as high as you want and then level out. If you push and then slow down too early, you probably don't get to the heights that you ever want to see. And then if you push too far, you're probably at heights that, are not easy to maintain, and you have no desire to be even that far, high. So I really like that. Smash that like button if you liked it as well. So yeah, plan now, get into work, and I'll continue documenting my boring life. Oh, actually, I was going to say that it's a full circle moment, because out there, I think it was on that side or the side behind me, there's a place, a resort, and they call it a resort, but it's really like a three-star motel or some sort. And I stayed there when I was 18, and I went there with my brother, and the entire 5 days for 4 people, it cost $500. And that's pretty much what I spend here in a day or two. And it's just wild to think that that's, how far I've come. And it was just a moment that I had. I'm not saying that this is the most expensive place to stay at, but yeah, it's just, what are the chances? And I have not seen that name. I've never thought about that resort ever again, that motel, until I went past it. And I'm like, what the hell? Isn't that the place? So I'm going to find it online. If it has a website, I'm going to check it out online, and then I'm going to send a screenshot to Deeps, because he's going to be like, holy shit, what a throwback. So yeah, thought I'd share that as well. Okay, this is how much of a basic bitch I am, and how introverted I am, because I don't want to go downstairs and eat with everyone else. So apparently the restaurant downstairs does takeaway. So I've got some dumplings I'm going to show you in a second, and I'll show you exactly what I get up to. Wild night here in the Gold Coast. All right, so we've got some prawn dumplings. I wish it came with sauce, but it doesn't. This looks great. It's like a chicken fried rice, and then kung pao chicken. And then it's not complete until you're watching The Office. So this is going to be a really nice evening. Welcome to day 2. So I've already had breakfast. Plan is now I'm gonna relax for about 10-15 minutes, let my food digest, and then I'm gonna go and work out at the gym downstairs. And I'm probably going to get maybe 45. I'm going to try and push 50, because then I have to get ready and head across to, I think it's in Burleigh Heads, I think. I'll have a look. Or it could be Southport. Anyway. Decided to check out the gym. Seems like all the equipment's new. But it feels weird because there's no windows. But yeah, everything's brand new, which is cool. So So I might have to have a little sneaky workout, whether it's today or the next 2 days. It's definitely happening because I'm eating a lot of food. Anyways, I'm not really good with directions. But yeah, so I'll go do the podcast. Really excited for that. Come back, and then I've got probably a couple of hours where I'll have lunch as well as work for a couple of hours. And then I've got, I've actually booked a ticket to this cinema, and I'm going to show you some clips as well. So be sure to keep watching. It's called ScreenX, okay? And I'll have something pop up here so you can see exactly what this is. And it's like 3 screens. And so we only have one in Sydney, but it's out southwest, so it's quite far. And then I thought, if I'm coming here anyway, there is only one other one in Australia, and so it's here. So I'm going to go check that out. And I'm watching a zombie film, so it's 28 years later. And I remember watching 28 days later, 28 weeks later, and now watching 28 years later. Only thing is, I haven't really watched like a zombie edge of your seat sort of thriller for a long time. Now, not only that, but I'm watching it in this like big cinema, which is going to have like 3 screens. And the session is today, but there's no one else that's booked a ticket. So it's just me in that cinema. So I'm a little scared, not going to lie, but let's see how it goes. So yeah, I'm going to go check that out, and then it's going to be another day in the life of Ravi, which is basically go there, come back to the hotel and do exactly what I do at home, but just at a hotel. All right, so I've just arrived at the Unemployable Media Studio, waiting to go in, and yeah, we're looking forward to it. The weather here is peaking. Compared to Sydney, it's a little bit colder. I had my jacket on and I'm like, what? So yeah, really enjoying this heat. The government comes out and they can change their mind, and they change it sometimes in your favor when zoning gets changed, and sometimes it's not in your favor.
Going back when you were accumulating properties at 21, at 24, you left your full-time job. What were you doing?
I decided to make the side gig the main gig. And so
Ravi Sharma is the founder of award-winning Search Property and built a $15 million property portfolio by age 32.
He also shares his expertise on real estate and investing through his YouTube channel, Personal Finance with Ravi Sharma, and the More Than Money podcast.
I don't think property prices continue going up just in a straight line. It'd be silly. But that line going up straight to the right is only because we have the...
With the areas you're looking into, what sort of DD and what risks are you finding in different areas?
We're looking at...
What's the game plan? How does someone get from 0 to 10 in a perfect world?
So I think there's a couple of things. One, you've got to buy the right... Sun's still out. That was awesome. So that was about an hour and a bit for the podcast. And yeah, I think there was a lot of value there. Just talking to like-minded people is awesome. So whenever the podcast does come out, I'll share it on my socials. So if you aren't following me on Instagram, you should probably follow me on Instagram. But yeah, some really cool stuff. And again, just different perspectives. You know, Eric, who was the main guy here, doing the podcast was, you know, he's 42. So he's across different industries. And, you know, when you hear from different perspectives, it just puts, you know, a lot into perspective for yourself. So yeah, I'll probably do a deep dive in terms of my thoughts a little later on. I'm just waiting for my Uber, which I think might be it. All right, checking it out. What the hell? Oh my god. Oh yeah? I'm gonna watch a zombie movie. What the hell? This is gonna be incredible. Oh my god.
More emotion. Explore more thrills. Experience cinema. These dinosaurs were too dangerous for the original park. Please don't say they're raptors. They're raptors. The worst of the worst were left here.
That was actually incredible. I think if you get the chance to watch ScreenX, you should definitely do it. That was so cool. Oh my god. All right, just got back from the movies. incredible. Wow. So obviously you're going to see some clips on here about the 360, or it's 270, so it's like 3 screens. But yeah, I'm feeling really tired since the podcast and whatnot. But I thought I'd put this up because I've just ordered food. So in-room dining, and I'm going to show you what it is. So I've got my thing here, my phone, and voila! That looks pretty good actually. So it's pesto pasta with chicken. So I'm going to enjoy that while I obviously watch The Office, and I'll give you guys an update later.